them to get back in games even when they're way behind.
See what Picks and Bans has to start us out and see just how late game the MV wants to go here. Maybe we won't get too many scaling champs and they'll just skirmish all over the place with Immortals. It's what we love to see. It's what Huni and the rest of the team loves to do. Vlad and Zyra already out of this one. We saw the Energy versus Envy match, how important that Vlad was to Ninja and GBM. So we actually seen it in a lot of matches, specifically between Envy. That was a big one.
I've been very interested in this split. I feel like there's a lot of diversity in people's pick and ban strategies. You know, yesterday we saw C9 TSM. Zyra was neither picked nor banned in any of the games, whereas in a lot of series it's being perma-banned. It's very high priority. A lot of teams think this champion is completely S tier. So it's exciting to see the different teams developing their own interpretations of the meta, going in with their own pick and ban strategies.
Look at this. The attack on Adrian starting out from Envy over here.
Yeah.
One from as well Immortals, and the supports are getting jungler love as it used to be in the ban strategy now.
Oh, Hecarim. So that has to be something we have not seen Hecarim in a long time. It has to be something that they've heard about from scrims or seen that these guys are practicing. Hecarim is something that is picking up some wind, you know, both as a jungler and a top laner. It can come in and be pretty effective, but we have not yet seen it in the LCS. I also have to say, you know, if you're going to ban away Zyra and Soraka, I feel like you want to try to really focus on it hard and maybe try to pick away even the Karma, because that's something that Adrian has gone to time and time again. And if you're going to put 2 bans on him and then kind of give him a comfort pick, a power pick anyway, I feel that that would be a mistake.
Still the Bard, the Karma up as well. 2 very, very strong support champions that we've seen recently. Something Hakuo actually has quite a champion pool looking back at last split and this split coming in. Him and Adrian will have to duke it out for what's left in this. Nidalee picked up first for Reignover. We actually saw Proxen in their first matchup of the split doing quite well on the Nidalee.
Nidalee, very powerful, still has high priority among most teams. It's still very high in both pick and ban percentages. You know, Kindred is available, but hasn't been as popular. We're definitely going to see, okay, wow. So that is going to be Karma and the Rise. Rise is something that has been banned almost every game this split.
Good point.
So when it does get through, it's very, very powerful. It is a flex pick, can go top, can go mid, generally is that mid laner. But we know Seraph has been playing pretty much everything under the sun in the top lane. He plays whatever his team needs, and he's going to be able to have that as a flex pick. When you're playing against a guy like this, Huni has to be aware of the fact that this Rise could be going top lane.
Yeah, besides Echo Fox and the way they flex, I think Envy is one of the other teams that can flex the most between Seraph and Ninja, the way they play, even the lanes they play if they were to go at it even that far. But their champion pools just completely intertwine along the way. Looking at what we have now with the Karma and the Rise picked up, Envy knows, or I should say Immortal knows, Envy is going to want to skirmish with that. And they do actually pick those late game champions. The Nami comes out and the Caitlyn as well. So Adrian's looking for that sustain lane with Turtle in the bottom.
It's going to be a pretty frightening duo lane to match up against. And yes, you do have a strong laning phase with Karma. And yes, there are some decent ADC laners. But Caitlyn is one of the strongest early game laners in the entire game, if not the strongest. Nami has a powerful lane as well. Sustain, poke,
bully.
They bring it all. So this is going to be a frightening 2v2 for anyone. And with that said, we're going to see the Ezreal locked in. I think that makes sense. Ezreal is someone who can always farm it out. You can play safe. You don't have to be up in their face and getting poked out. So a safe pick and a smart pick. But when you do see teams like this, you always have to worry about frontline damage. You know, if Immortals does decide to lock in some tanks, if they have, you know, Huni on something where he's going to be tanky, it can be tough, you know, to be able to bust through the front line with an Ezreal. And even with the Rise, who doesn't really want to be doing that, he wants to go backline.
That Aurelia is still left up as well, so he could find the back line if need be. A laser following just on his heels from Pobelter on the Victor, and those will be the final lock-ins for Immortals. So we see their full team very good at fighting, and also very good just in the laning phase as well, each by themselves. So what can Envy round this out with?
It'll be interesting to see. My guess is it's going to be some sort of a mid lane pick. Or you know, it's obviously a solo lane. Do they want to put the Rise mid lane? Probably. So I think that is going to be the matchup that is going into Victor, unless they feel like, hey, Victor is going to be too tough for our Rise. Then they can send the Rise top lane and look for some sort of a counter pick. The question comes, where do they think they can carve out the biggest advantages? You know, can you put Seraph on the Trundle and just have him, you know, smash the Aurelia, which is actually what they're going to do. So I think this is a pretty smart choice. We saw yesterday in the one game that Cloud9 did win against TSM, Impact was able to actually solo kill Haunter in that Trundle Aurelia matchup. I think it is pretty advantageous for the Trundle. I think especially when you do have a solid early game ganker like the Rek'Sai, you can perhaps put some pressure onto Huni, put him behind, and that is sometimes how Immortals loses their games, is Huni kind of gets behind and he always tries to make up for it. He doesn't want to just sit back and play safe.
And it's kind of one of those lanes now with Reignover taking Nidalee for only the second time in the split, kind of taking that away from Proxen as well.
Oh, wow.
That Rek'Sai would be able to lock pretty hard on the top lane and get that gank in. See how they're switching. Is that Karma staying mid? I hear your wow, and I see the Trundle going towards Hakuo.
This is not what I expected at all. So they're actually using like triple flex pick basically, and I don't think they can change anymore because it's past 20 seconds. So it is going to be actually Karma mid, support Trundle,
one of the
and
most
Rise
flexible.
top.
Like I said, these guys along with Echo Fox can really just throw you for a loop in champion select.
Yeah, they threw me through a loop. I had no clue what was going on. So definitely pretty crazy. We've seen all these champions be successful in those different roles, so it's not something that has never before been seen. Trundle support has kind of fallen out of popularity though, and especially in that 2v2, they have to avoid it now. They're going to get smashed if they have to have the 2v2. Karma mid laner is actually something that Faker was running in Korea, so these are picks that have been used, but not necessarily the most common.
Do they synergize together? We'll see as we load it on the Rift. Let us know your predictions. Tweet using hashtag IMTWin or hashtag NVWin. We'll tally those up as we get into game, and we're about to jump in. It is already week 3. It feels like we played so many, but I think TSM's only played 5 as the most games. We're going to get some more in here. Envy looking to take a piece of that first place spot right now. They're 4-0, looking to be 5 after this series. It's going to be very tough versus Immortals, and we are on the Rift.
Be huge for Envy if they can get a win against Immortals, stay undefeated, and look forward to an undefeated matchup against TSM. That would be pretty hype.
Oh my gosh.
They have a long way to go before they can do it, though.
A lot of work ahead of them, indeed. We see that Immortals, Pobelter kind of hinting to the fact that, you know, we've grown more this split as opposed to last split with the things we've been able to learn, the way we've been able to play, the way the meta's changed. We're following it much more. We'll see if they can produce those results of last split a little bit better from here on out.
It's going to be really key, the early game, for these two teams, getting the proper lane assignments. Hakuo and Laud have no business playing against Wild Turtle and Adrian with this matchup. Trundle is not really a strong early laner whatsoever, can hardly contribute at all, and Nami and Caitlyn are two of the very strongest early on. So they actually, oh wow, this is actually really smart from Laud and Hakuo. So they basically feign that they're swapping up to top lane. They walk past an area where they expect it to be warded, that pixel brush, and then they wrap back around to the blue buff, and they're going to stay bot lane. They've actually tricked Immortals, so
they're
really smart stuff.
I like the take in that. I was actually going to question, just as we mentioned, that you were mentioning the Trundle pick, is that Hakuo and Laud have been a very aggressive bot lane, trying to control every lane they've played against so far. So that would be a little interesting to do against the sustain of Nami. Like you said, they swap it up, so we're going to get that. We haven't seen too many lane swaps with the new objective of Dragon and Herald. We'll see how these guys play it out here.
Especially Dragon comes a lot into play early game. It's actually a water dragon early this game, which is, in my opinion, the most powerful early game dragon. Immortals now sees that Seraph is top lane, so they know they have been kind of duped a little bit, but it is not obviously the end of the world, and they're just going to go into a more standard lane swap game. We'll see how that's going to work out for them. Seraph, you know, if he does end up in that 1v1 against Huni, it'll be very snowbally, I feel, because it's one of those things where, oh, Hakuo getting very aggressive.
What he likes to do.
Oh, Reignover's getting really low. He's got to be careful.
Reignover comes back in for the swipe. His smite is up, so he can get that HP back that he's looking for. And it actually is taken by Hakuo. What a monster!
Wow, that was so well played by Hakuo, and that is devastating for Reignover. He was actually getting pushed so low in HP, he had to use a smite early because he needed to smite for health. Normally, he wanted to wait as long as possible so he could actually smite to secure it, right? But he did not have the option because Hakuo so aggressively went on to him, forced the smite out early, steals the red buff. Pretty hilarious and really good start for Hakuo. Good stuff.
Very nicely done. So we'll see how they use that towards the bot lane. Obviously, it's not going to be a matchup for Kuni to be walking into anymore, so he'll stay up towards that top side, and we'll figure out what they can do with this. Ninja heading over, getting that early blue. Gotta love having Proxen on that Rek'Sai for this matchup, and he can continue to spam out against that laser from Pobelter and keep the lane pushed out. Great start for Envy so far. Once again, they love to camp a bush, do something, one or the other, to kind of throw you off in the beginning, but it's also incredibly risky.
It's actually really intelligent start, and although it isn't a massive gold lead by any means,
Right.
they did get a couple hundred gold ahead
Little mind
after
game.
this turret goes off. Yeah, not only from that smart little deception that they played to get the lane assignments that they wanted, but also from good play from Hakuo. So good start for them for sure. And the blue buff thrown over to Ninja is going to be really nice, as you did say.
We'll see how active they get with their double TPs. Should be Immortals pretty safe here in the early game. They shouldn't have too hard of a time keeping this one under control. Towards the bot lane, we see the swap from Wild Turtle and Adrian. They'll start pushing back Seraph once again, as Envy does the same swap to the other side. Turrets to be dropped here. The little gentleman's agreement would be a very big accident if somebody goes down during this time period.
The question is, does Seraph hang around? Does he try to pick up some of this farm? You know, do they support him in that? Because it is going to be a big wave crashing, but it's looking like he's going to base and probably just head over to top lane, do a double turret trade. He did kind of hesitate a little bit there, was thinking about, hey, maybe I can hang around because he'd love to pick up that farm, but just not in the cards, and is going to have to head up top lane, meet up with his team.
Looks like they'll have time to just walk it out as well. Not going to teleport up. Saving TPs for possibly level 6s. Rainover still trying to go through his jungle and really not too far behind. Obviously, like you said, not going to do too much overall, and he can still go hard farm it. 24 rather, to 22 in CS. Proxen looking to see if he can get himself somewhere in mid and cause some trouble here. It looks like they're finally ready to get their hands dirty.
Seen Proxen looking to do some counter jungling, kind of pinging away that he was going to check out that wolf camp. Already has been taken, so just going to head up, probably help his team actually go for that turret, but wanted to double check once more. Not going to find it. And both teams playing it pretty even.
Who does the start actually benefit? If you were to kind of look at it in that situation, the early turret gold going to either team, kind of a scaling maybe from Envy, the skirmish from Immortals.
I would say that as far as scaling, I actually do like Immortals team better. But the thing is, it's not just about the scaling, because Envy actually had really poor 2v2. So them avoiding that is really good for them. So overall, I do think that they've had the advantage. Although if we go to super late game, they probably will not be as strong as Immortals. Their mid game is going to be very, very strong. You know, the 2-item power spikes and stuff like that for Ryze is extremely strong. Mid game Karma extremely strong. 2-item Ezreal extremely strong. So a lot of these champions are very powerful in the mid game. Won't necessarily match up well if we go super late, but they're going to be happy from the start, and we'll see what they can get done as they start to scale up.
And you're saying they're going to be happy as well if they can grab that Ocean Drake, especially Huni, keep himself sustained. As long as something like this isn't happening. This was supposed to be the top lane matchup we thought was going to happen. Now it's the bot lane matchup that's going to be happening. It's the long chase. Lod says, minion wave, kill, minion wave. All right, we'll go with minion wave. We also don't have that much vision. So Envy backs off. They play it safe. But still, we see that aggression from Hakuo and Lod continuously coming through when they have the chance.
And it works out. They get the flash. Yes, they don't get the kill. But now Huni has a lot less playmaking potential, and he has to be very safe because return ganks are pretty easy on a flashless Aurelia. If he wanders up the top lane, there's a big threat of getting CC chained by Seraph, by Proxen. So they're going to have to be very careful. And we'll see where they're going to send Huni as a result of this, because he doesn't really want to go that far up to where Seraph is farming this. It's kind of dangerous for him right now.
We'll swap back. A little roam from Hakuo as Huni makes sure the river is a safe place to cross by himself.
Proxen is 6 now, so he can actually ult back up to top side if he wants. His tunnel just did get taken out. Smartly played by Huni, but Huni is going to have to be really safe, and we see Rainover moving up the top side as a result of that. Knows he has to protect his top laner, and they want to push this in. This is dangerous, though.
Doesn't look like he wants it that much. He's trying to get a little tit for tat, getting a red buff back on this, but with Seraph so close, it looks like he's just going to have to settle for Krugs. Ninja on the slow move up. His pole belter was actually backing, so Envy would definitely have the upper hand on any type of engage in this situation.
Yeah. They did get it to the turret, though. That's the important part. They could not allow Seraph to have a long-term freeze, and this would have been a massive one for him. So getting it to the turret is what they wanted to accomplish. That was the mission, and it's mission successful for Immortals. Rainover just gets out of there. Huni gets out of there. And yes, it is a bit of an advantage for Seraph. He's picking up more farm, but the wave will eventually bounce. It will push back to Huni. And this means he can kind of just play safe and wait. And yeah, it's not ideal, but eventually he's going to be able to pick up some farm.
It's like, hey man, we're in the featured matchup. You don't give the featured matchup guy a full wave of minions. Got to keep it even. And they almost are. 30 to 39 as Huni gets back to lane. He'll be able to clear some stuff up. And right now, he's actually in mid with Pobelter.
He's pretty much just have to wander around. It's a bad feeling as a top laner when you don't have your flash. It's pushed that far up.
Yeah.
He can't do anything. He just has to wait. The jungle farm is going to reign over, so he's just going to kind of wander around, see like, oh hey, I can kill you here. You gotta be careful.
Yep.
You gotta be careful. But there's nothing you can really do besides kind of like try to put on a little bit of threat mid lane, see if the Karma pushes up and go for a gank. Besides that, I mean, he's leashing the blue now. It's what you're relegated to. It's a sad life as a top laner sometimes for him.
Didn't have the game he wanted. Those lane swaps keep you so lonely. So just about a 600-ish gold lead for Envy. A little bit of that early game back and forth, taking red and CSing a little bit better in lane. Seraph pulls some of that golden by himself here. And now his wave is getting pushed a little too far. That'll be able to get cleaned up by Huni, so things will start to kind of shift hands in a little bit here. It's looked really good for Envy, but that's because Immortals is just waiting for their waves to come in.
Yeah, it is going to be Huni's time to kind of farm it up and look to get that freeze. So Envy will have to react appropriately. As Reignover came and helped to push in the wave, now Envy has to move to top side, get ready to help push in the wave. That's why Hakuo's here, and Reignover could be in some trouble.
Still slippery.
Yep.
The Magician of Escape. Nidalee can get out of pretty much anything. There's a Mountain Drake next, I believe.
They really do want to bounce this, though. They have 3 guys top. They're going to try to get to the turret. Don't want to let Huni freeze this, and don't want to let him just pick up all his free farm. So that's why Seraph's sticking around. That's why the 3 MB members top.
Things pretty much all around. It looks like they may be trying to close in a lot on the bot side, but the top lane is going to keep everybody pretty much safe, knowing that that's going on, and knowing they don't have the full team.
Envy actually kind of goofed. They need to push it a little bit further. So Huni does actually have the freeze if he wants to hold it. Those range minions didn't quite get all the way to the turret.
So now he's definitely going to be picking up the CS. That may even put Immortals on a longer pause, and happy to get Huni fed in that top lane. Lod's going to have the same treatment at bot, but here Immortals now have time to maybe set some forward wards up. We haven't seen really too much of that. Envy has been on the pressure, and they usually keep it up. Immortals can easily react here. Reignover looking to clear these wards out. He knows they've kind of been on the back foot, and they have to get their jungle back. This is the second time it's happened to Reignover as he enters basically just towards the river. Envy is always saying, nope, you cannot cross.
They're trying to control the dragon here, and Pobelter is going to get rooted, but Envy's actually going for Reignover. Reignover's looking like...
His flash is down. They do not take him down. He actually lives on this one. Ninja could get caught out if Huni makes the jump, but it doesn't look like they're able to really catch on to a fight. Both teams had enough distance on each other. Very interesting, though. Immortals showing that they would have wanted to take a fight there.
Yeah, close call, actually, for Immortals.
Well, really the flash from Seraph.
Yeah. A lot of summoners blown by Immortals, and exhaust from Adrian, both summoners from Pobelter, and the flash from Reignover. Huni had to use his TP, which I think he actually canceled. So a lot of summoners blown. This should mean that Envy has the advantage as far as the Drake goes. It's going to be the Mountain Drake Dragon, which is going to be pretty important for them. And they've been kind of hovering around here, trying to control the vision, trying to get that advantage for themselves. And they should be rewarded with this, since Huni has no TP.
Yep. They make their way down. The ping's already happening. Huni did head top. Man, it's just going to be the wave clear game until Envy can make their way down to that dragon. So clear for Kalad, just continuously clearing on the side wave as well. Something Envy doing nicely is keeping their team spread out and also taking fights that aren't causing them to completely go down. As I say that, looks like Reignover's getting the better of Seraph. Adrian flashes in looking for the bubble, and it's just out of range as Immortals starts to pressure a bit of their own.
Yeah, they do, but at the same time, Dragon is being taken here.
Yeah.
And Seraph did not have to pull a summoner. He didn't even have the flash, so well juked on that spear. Avoids the bubble too, so they take a summoner, they take the dragon. He has his TP available. Everything looking pretty good for Envy, and credit where credit is due. They're standing up, although it is early in the game. Immortals are one of, if not the best macro teams in the league. I think that they're incredible at it, and the fact that Envy is holding even is pretty impressive.
Yeah, any lead Immortals will get, they can run with quite easily. They know when Huni's fed, they know when they can use Reignover to continuously get inside and invade the enemy jungle. Right now, it seems they're all stopped just a little short of the goal that they want to reach. So far, 200 gold up as they make their way around the map. We said they still are able to control that game, keep some turrets and that gold up, as we are even at 2-2 in those.
The question
like
this
Huni
game
has evened up that CS.
Yep, picks up his Trinity Force 2. That's a big deal for him. Going to be very powerful. And the question of this game is going to be, when does Envy decide to pull the trigger? They are a comp that is going to kind of get outscaled, but they have to pick their moment. When do they want to go aggressive? When do they really want to try to push the pace? And now they have 2 Roas stacking up. My guess is it's going to be kind of the 2-item power spikes. Once you have the Iceborne Gauntlet on the Ezreal, and you pick up another item on Karma, you finish the Seraph's Embrace. All these items kind of come in. I think that's when they'll try to go for it, but they have to decide, and they have to be decisive.
Ooh, big wave clear as Seraph throws down the ultimate. Kind of hard to be decisive on that play when you got a big pillar in your face and the wave cleared immediately. But Immortals showing strength now, saying we're going to start pushing the lanes. We're going to try to make you create an error and then take advantage of that error. Pobelter gets blue now, and you can see Immortals working together much more than getting the lane pushed. Huni off on the side. We'll see if he can continue to do that. Actually, he's going to join in mid with the team. They're going to want this down. The final outer turret. Why not make the dominoes drop in a row?
Immortals is trying to kind of push the issue. They want to make MV fight before they're ready. They're trying to put them in these awkward situations, and Hakuo gets caught.
There's that error. We're going to make you create an error. It's the bubble as Hakuo steps too far forward, feeling like he was safe just from being able to escape with a pillar. And their aggression gets the better of them. You were just saying it, and that's how it happens. 15 minutes in, Immortals not able to get much off of that, but they may be wearing Envy a little bit now.
Up 1,000 gold, first blood on Huni. I'll take that. Thank you very much. It's a great start for the Aurelia. He's kept even in CS, even though it was kind of that awkward situation where it was frozen against him. Now he has first blood, and he's going to be able to put himself in a good position if he matches up 1v1 against Sarah.
See that play one more time.
Yeah, so here it is. Hakuo just actually wants to get the Relic Shield charges, but that was such a good equilibrium strike from Huni to set up the bubble. I didn't catch that the first time around, so Huni actually took a little bit of damage, so he was lower HP and could land the stun on Hakuo. He stuns him into the bubble. Everything gets dropped. They pop the support. Really well played there. Good coordination from Adrian and Huni.
Well, with the Triforce, and get in there, do a little bit of extra damage, and make sure they can secure the kills. Like you said, coming in, Immortals very good at using those power points and knowing when they're coming in. Like I said, I was like, Huni's going to stay in the bot lane and farm. No, all 5 mid, we can get something to happen here. And they did, and it looks like they may just try once again, knowing that they kind of have the scatter on Envy. It's going to be the gravity field down. Reignover does not decide to pursue since it did not slow Ninja. And now Envy may be looking to try and get, once they can, a fight down, a teleport play after they can drop this mid.
I'm interested to see if Envy's actually going to go for the Rift Herald. They have been kind of establishing some vision around here. They have a pink in the pit. Will they actually pull the trigger on that and try to make a move to get Seraph that advantage?
Somebody we haven't mentioned much this game. That is our featured matchup, as we said before. Huni already has a kill, so it's on Seraph, one of the big playmakers of this team, possibly to start it. I'm sure he feels that way on his shoulders. He's always been one to hold himself in high regard for that. Be somebody to help carry the team. Level 9, Rod finished stacking his tier now. It looks like Envy is going to put some pressure on this mid turret.
Yeah, they like to try to poke this down, and the gravity field is going to catch 2!
Huge gravity field by Pobelter. They're going out. Hakuo dies once again first in the fight. There may be a chase here from Reignover. No spear to connect, however. A lot trying to speed the attack of everyone if they do get re-engaged on, but it's just not enough. And they may just lose their mid turret here. Once again, Hakuo down. That flash is up as well, so we got taken down mighty quick after that gravity field.
Pretty big mistake from Envy. Some hesitation going back and forth. If you walk straight out of the gravity field, you will not get stunned, and they even have the Karma speed up, but they make a mistake. Immortals pounce, kill the support, take the mid lane turret. There is that bubble, and you can see Envy is kind of zipping back and forth. Ninja actually, walking back and forth with that Karma shield, and Hakuo did get CC chained by the bubble into the gravity field, so not really much chance for him unless he flashed the initial
really
bubble.
Scary time as well. Seeing where the Karma ultimate was on, there's like 3/4 cooldown, so you're shielding only yourself if something happens in a big fight. Something you really want to have up is that Mantra shield. So like you said, a little too aggressive, and Envy's going to have to rethink a few of these engages now, giving quite a surplus of gold over to Immortals, and they will know how to use it. Rift Herald almost being taken here as Envy is pushed off of it. They would have loved to get that onto one of the top or that jungler.
Yeah, they had been setting up vision, as we talked about. They looked for it, but Immortals sniffed it out. They moved over, and they forced them off, because the Rift Herald does a lot of damage to you, so you can't actually just ignore its damage as you sometimes can the early dragons. But there's only not much time. There's about a minute left until Baron spawns, so probably no one going to be picking up the Rift Herald this game.
Saw the thought process of Envy, though, saying we need to get something right now. Like, we feel the hit we just took, and it might even get bigger now. Is you see the Cloud Drake is live, Baron in 45 seconds. If a big fight goes down, this is a pretty heavy damage team, and they would, or for Immortals, I should say, and they would be able to take Baron down quite quickly. Everybody teetering down to the bot as Broxton looks for the engage here. Envy is chomping at the bit, and I think Immortals is going to start to be able to use this their advantage. Envy wanting the fight so much.
Yeah, but Envy is going to actually get this dragon for free. Immortals was pinging onto the Rift Herald, but they don't have time, I don't think, to actually get this done before it despawns. We'll see. It's going to be pretty close, and actually they should be okay. They have 10 seconds, I think, before it despawns. We'll see if they can actually get it.
This on Huni this late.
Oh my God, it's going to despawn
Have it last.
in 1 more second.
Oh, they got it.
No, they didn't get it. It returned.
Oh, you're
so
right. I thought
despawns.
that was the smite from Rainover.
Yep, it despawns at and they had some hesitation there, so it was going to be really close, but they were kind of hovering around. Oh, can we do it? Can we not do it? They decide to, but it's too late. And as a result, Envy picks up a free dragon, loses nothing for it. It's nice for them.
Just half a second too late.
Very close. Very, very close.
So Baron now stands tall, and that means Immortals have to evacuate the Baron pit. Huni's going to be, oh man, he would have had basically a 40-minute buff, or 20-minute buff up to 40. Would have been very, very nice for him.
Yeah, likely would have had it for the rest of the game. That'd be huge in that 1v1 matchup, which could be key later on, especially because he's already carving out a lead for himself. Up 20 CS, has that first blood gold still. So he is, eking out advantages over Seraph, and you add in the Rift Herald buff, that can be massive.
All right, so what do we see the next move from Envy here? Obviously taking Dragon. They have 2 in their favor. We still have a while before the next one comes up. Is it just to farm up right now and see if Immortals makes a mistake? Because it seems like Envy is almost pushing themselves too hard now.
Yeah, a lot of the items are coming in now for Envy. We see that 2-item power spike, the completed Muramana for Laud. So I think it's just kind of now waiting for Seraph. Once he gets his next item, I think they're going to start to look to fight. I think the 2-item power spike is really where they're going to look for their kind of strength in this game.
The lane swap game played pretty evenly throughout here by Envy versus Immortals, as they say, getting tested really in their first of matchups in the North American Summer Split. Immortals still with a 2K gold lead and able to pressure this one what looks quite easily. Envy is still trying to look for their ins on each one of these fights. It's awesome to see that they still are chomping at the bit, and they haven't kind of relegated themselves to saying, maybe not this one, we'll let them take the turret and go back. Envy likes to fight for everything. Here the line of traps down from Turtle.
Roxanne's looking for it.
Really keeping them back. There's that engage they always want, but again, the gravity field from Pobelter continuing to just separate the team, not allowing Envy in for Proxen, and it's really been helping the fights. The victor is huge for Immortals right now, and that's going to be a dead Adrian. Now the play from Hakuo comes in as they flash forward to engage. They're looking to get onto this Immortals team, but they can't kite the fight as well, and Huni, as he TPs in, can't get the catch. The minion wave just a little far behind where he wanted, and they're trying to get in. Ninja doing his damnedest to clear these waves, but as you can see, that's just about all the wave clear they have, and almost not enough. The turret gets onto Huni, so does Seraph with the rest of the team. Immortals still gonna try to go in on this one, very low HP for Envy, and I don't think they can stay very much longer. Rainover with a bit of mana may be able to get some of these spears to count. The turret will fall, and like I said, Envy will continue to fight. Lot goes in, flashes out. And it does not look like they want to give up the ground even after it's been lost.
Just barely missing that Q was Lot, and I think he could have had the kill if he landed it, but in the extended trade, it ends up being that 2-for-1 for Envy.
Yeah.
They do get a couple kills, actually, but they lose the turret. So Immortals comes out ahead, and once again, playing very well. So hard to engage through the trap line and through that disengage that they do have with the Nami. And here is that fight once again, the kind of the later stages of it, as Huni had already come in and the traps are down. They do catch Ninja. Ninja actually tried to clear that. Very risky. I don't know if he saw it or not, but he just kind of stepped on the trap and takes so much damage here. And in comes Rainover looking for that execute. Everyone's so low here. Laud just a little whiff on that ult, but goes in, tries to pick up the exit kill kind of on Pobelter here. And I think if he hits the Q, he probably stays for it and tries to fight, but not quite able to get it.
Fast Fingers keeping his position in the right spot to try and help the team the most. Very nice pillar to stop Pobelter, but there's not enough minions for a follow-up. And Envy is trying to push back as soon as possible, finding Immortal members still coming off the fountain. Maybe they can take down another one, but Immortal's playing too safe under that mid turret. Envy's used this time now to get some deep wards, and maybe these teleport plays can now start to come into effect for them.
Immortals is kind of just negating the Karma engage with this move speed by always being
yeah.
There always has a squad, so yeah, okay, engage on us. We're all here, we're ready. The trap line is set up. And it's making it very hard for Envy because they want to get in there. They want to kind of go for these flanks. You know, have Rek'Sai coming in from behind, popping up the Victor, or Seraph TPing in and catching people off guard. But they're not able to do it because Immortal is always grouped. They know the game plan of Envy. So they're going to stay as a 5-man squad. And as a result, picking up 2 more turrets, extending that gold lead, and now, you know, pushing down mid lane.
They're able to yo-yo the fight so well, trusting each other in kind of back and forth in their movement. Only 3 of them there of Immortals were able to hold off that last fight in the end, really.
It's one of the hallmarks of a great team, just being able to know your limits so perfectly.
Right now they look to push the mid inhibitor turret 25 minutes in. Like we said, Envy coming into these this season has been playing some long games. And we figured Immortals would not allow the clock to tick that long. Already 25 minutes on the doorstep. Looking to drop the outer turrets now, possibly once they can get the waves pushed, as it might start to be a little too dangerous up in this middle inhibitor turret with the aggression of Envy so far.
One thing going for Envy right now, Seraph does have TP advantage, so he is down in the bot lane pushing this out. Aurelia cannot actually go to meet him really without allowing Immortals to get into a position where they could be under threat, because if he goes down bot, Seraph can TP and join his team. They can look for an odd man fight.
Trade over sitting on 2,000 gold right now. 1,100 for Pobelter, Turtle 1,000. It's almost like they're afraid to kind of give up the map pressure they have at this point just to go back to buy, and it's working. They're not really losing any ground with that money in their pocket.
They're doing a good job of it, just staying as that 5-man squad.
Wow. So that's going to help even more if they want to go for these huge objectives such as Baron. And it looks like Envy saw them setting up the wards. Last time they came out, they tried to get themselves on this side of the jungle, prepping that top wave. We'll see if they can actually make something happen at this turret.
Yeah, they want to try to push up. They want to try to take some of these objectives off the map and close that gold lead. They know they're behind. They're down 2 turrets, and they're doing a good job getting some damage here and here. Good poke actually landing onto Reignover. Ninja's nailing a couple of those Qs.
Threading the spear just around. Looks like we're going to have a push in mid from Seraph, so I don't know how much engage Envy wants on this. They're going to show that pressure. Adrian throwing out the tidal wave. It does not look like it's going to initiate the fight. And the team may just be going back and forth, forced to kind of chip these turrets down and prep them to be taken down later without the pressure they need. Mid should drop here, so they get 1 for their work.
Really good rotations from Envy. Finally will pick up this mid lane outer, but it's gotta be frustrating going up against this Immortals team. They have so much healing, and they have that early Water Drake that they had picked up. So,
that's
I mean,
true.
They have Nidalee healing, they have Nami healing, and they have the regen from this. So it just doesn't stop. Ninja was actually landing poke after poke along with Laud. They had multiple Immortal members down at like, 20, 30, 40% HP, and within a couple seconds, they're all healed back to full, and they're not going to run out of mana. So it's definitely a really big deal going up against this. And Immortals drafted intelligently, knowing they could be facing this poke.
And Huni on this Aurelia pretty constantly, actually.
He plays it a lot.
The last 3 games, now 4 games in a row. This is the 4th, so continuing to make that happen. Because I'm pretty sure he played it against TSM as well.
Yes, that would make even more. I think he did play against
4,
TSM.
5, and then 6, 7.
Yeah, he's looking at like 6 or 7 games in a row or something, and it's one of those things. It's kind of like what Doublelift was saying about Lucian. It's like, well, why do you keep playing it? Well, they keep giving it to me.
I'm just gonna keep doing it. Don't worry about it. It's interesting. We don't see Lucian in this one, but Law did want the safety. He himself has been through Lucian, Ezreal, because he loves the positioning so much. Something we saw a little bit in that middle 2nd-tier turret fight from him. 28 minutes now on the clock, a 2,000 gold lead. The mid turret, 2nd tier, is really all Immortals has with that gold lead above Envy right now. I'd say this is still anybody's game off of one big fight. Envy could still run down the mid lane and get themselves an inhibitor turret if something were to go wrong. But Immortals, they're not letting that happen. They're playing much safer. This isn't a Huni flashing the back line, diving in. And everybody's participating. But
here we go.
Face check. That is a bunch of HP going bye-bye on the side of Immortals. A summoner heal comes in, and they're trying to get themselves out. A nice soul flare coming in from Ninja as he flashes forward to get the damage done. And Envy is going to try to take down Huni, but he is huge right now. And he is fighting 3v1. Seraph teleports in, now actually walks in from the fight, and he is going to start to wreck some house. Huni flashes over to Raptor Pit. The members of Immortals are down. Huni is trying to stay alive. Lod over the wall to finish and complete the ace. And Envy's going to look at Baron.
Wow, amazing plays there by Envy to get the 5 for 2, and they are going to get Baron, and that's exactly what they needed. They finally got the flank as Immortals face checked into the Rise, and oh boy, did they regret it.
Thought he came around, but he just walked around Raptors and said, I'm still here. Don't worry about it. This fight's going down. And now Envy biding their time, waiting for the right push. They actually find the mistake.
So here it is. They finally get them to face check. In comes Rainover. He gets caught. Big CC chain. Poe Belter's immediately out of the fight. Rainover extremely low as well, and Seraph wants to continue. He comes down around from the bot side as Ninja's picking up these kills. Proxen, a bit of an overcommitment here onto Huni. Huni probably would have been going down regardless, but Seraph flashes the bubble, cleans up Adrian, and now there's the collapse. Lod coming in from behind. Seraph coming in from behind. No chance for Immortals to get out with the way that fight started.
I need like a third or fourth eye. Because I was watching Huni fight these guys. I didn't see the flash. I need more eyes. You can't see enough awesome in this game,
We'll work on that. We can get, some surgical advancements.
Got that Riot Medical. Let's go.
Yeah.
5 to 7, 30 minutes in. Things happening across the screen on this as we see Seraph taken to the back line. As Huni trying to do the same thing. They have the same objective. Our players of the game here. I should say our matchup to watch, rather.
Everyone got excited, but
on both sides.
It was just Proxen gifting it over. He didn't steal it. Proxen was just holding it for him. So nicely done by Envy.
The best is when it gets us. We're like, oh, God, yeah, he gets it. It's it. Oh, that's his teammate. Never mind. Yeah. That's fine.
Still, I love the enthusiasm.
Yeah, exactly. You're in it to win it.
Yep.
And you hope it's your team on the winning end. So 1K gold in the lead, actually, on the side of Envy here with their last Baron Foray. And we'll see what they can do with that as they make their way down to the bot lane. Seraph still hanging out in middle. His teleport is up after that last fight, so they can still decide to make a play. And the wards are only over by red, so it wouldn't really be the initiation from him.
I think it's smart. Spread out the Baron buffs. Allow them to push in multiple lanes. Have the lanes buffed up, and they're trying to set up what they did in the bot lane to the mid lane. Shove in one lane, allow Caitlyn to set up all the traps there, and then rotate around, see if you can catch someone or see if you can grab a turret.
They want this one. They're fine with it. They say, yeah, there's a trap line, but this siege minion here, this cannon, it's going to do it. Nope, he's a little cannon now. Can't do much.
And here they go. Now the turret has been reached in the mid lane. They get the inside track. They push over. They threaten the engage as Immortals comes. And great stuff here from Envy. And they should be able to pick up the inner tier 2.
Yep, cut them right off as they make their way over.
Love it.
That Karma Ezreal poke is really coming into play now. They can disengage with Hakuo. If he doesn't get up front and try to use that pillar to initiate, then they're doing a great job. And now they're basically doing
Turtle
what
could be in trouble.
Look to do. Take it down.
Wow.
Bye-bye.
And Caitlyn goes down, and this is trouble for Immortals. They're down no ADC for 45 seconds, and that was just off the bottom of the screen. Got sniped out by Lod, who is having an outstanding performance.
This is basically what we saw Immortals doing when they approached mid. They walked up maybe to look for Lod. Envy was able to get the fight on that. And now Envy's returning the same favor. Mid to bot, bot, and they're working it now with Seraph and mid.
Seraph's already on the mid lane turret there. They have no one to answer him. This is problems here for Immortals. It's looking like they're going to lose that mid lane turret if they can't answer very quickly. It's getting super, super low here, and Seraph does grab it.
Seraph taking down that mid lane. The Baron still affecting Slot as well, so they'll have that for a little bit. A few members of the Envy team are still wearing it, and this is going to be the down inhibitor in mid.
They can go straight to Dragon as well. The Earth Drag is up. They are the ones with the vision. They can walk straight over there and pick this up for themselves too. That is going to be huge.
Mooney's got some janitorial duty in the top lane. He'll take that wave, but like you said, a mountain, another mountain, actually, a third in the game, so won't see any more of those guys.
It's actually really big late game. That Earth Dragon, that Mountain Drake, is by far the most impactful as far as win rates are concerned. It allows you to get the objectives. Late game is decided by that. And look at this pillar setting it up by Hakuo. Wild Turtle is slowed, nails the Q, nails the ult. Law just playing that fantastically. And Turtle, nowhere really to go. That pillar slowed him down so much, and just great stuff from Envy. That initiated Doll, nets them uninhibited.
And now it's time for Elder. Be very nice for Envy with 3 Drakes, but Immortals has 2, so that's going to help buff both teams as they grab it. And we're getting to that point where all the core items are finished. It's getting down to that. Who is going to play the fight better? And we've seen Envy come out on top a few times here, but by the element of surprise, the face-to-face fights have been in favor of Immortals.
Yeah, Envy has been rotating extremely well. Though. They're setting up these fights. They're setting up these fights minutes in advance, and I'm extremely impressed with how they're playing. Also have to say, as Huni builds more and more tanky, as he's going to need to going into later stages of the game, that Trundle support becomes more and more annoying because he's just going to ult you. You're losing so many of those stats, but you're forced into doing it anyway, and it's kind of this double dipping effect where Huni loses all his armor and MR, and Hakuo becomes the super tank because he's stealing it all. So it's very frustrating as a tank dealing with a Trundle support because it feels like, hey, they didn't really even commit that much to this pick.
Again, trying to control the jungle before they get themselves into the lane, which Seraph is already in the bot side of. Going to go ahead and get himself some wards, and his team is also warded if he needs to come over. But right now, they have so much control over the map. They're kind of just playing a great game of yo-yo with Immortals right now.
It's fantastic, and Seraph is kind of the shot caller for this MB team. He understands the macro movements. He understands the wave control so well, and you can see it reflected in MB's play. Seraph draws them down to the bot lane. He has his TP. They can look to pressure this turret, and I think it's going to be hard for Immortals to actually hold here with only 3 members at that turret. Envy could perhaps look for a dive.
Seraph looks like he wants to kind of route the team here and come just around the backside. Pressure. Wild Turtle very, very low.
Has that healing, though. 2 healers here on the back line, and he's going to be picked back up pretty quick.
Oh, he takes another Q to the face. Eagle Eye Lod on this Ezreal right now. Like we said, he switches between Lucian and that, so he is feeling very comfortable right now to be on the front line for a few of those Mystic shots. And getting a lot of help from Ninja as well. His aggression is very supported by that mid lane. And looks like they're going to just take a few more seconds and pop this turret down.
That is one nice thing about having the mid lane karma is the shields are actually enormous.
Nice.
It's like 500 plus on that Ninja shield.
And you're zooming.
Yeah, and it's only a 4.8 second cooldown, so you're non-stop getting shielded. You're actually almost shielded at 90% uptime or so because it's a 4.8 second cooldown, lasts 4 seconds, and because he has so much AP and CDR, he can constantly pump out these massive shields onto Laud, which allows him to dip in, poke away at the turret. Even if he takes a turret shot or 2, it's fully absorbed.
Definitely not a team to be taken lightly. The series still has a ways to go, and we're starting to get to those longer moments. I'm sure Immortals would have wanted to take that inhibitor once they reached it at 25 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
But they have not. I don't think they really got too much damage on it after that second tier. So on to 37 minutes now. Elder Drake is going to be a thing these teams will fight over.
Also very dangerous is the Baron threat because it's double mountain. You're going to kill this so fast. Immortals has to respect it, but it's going to be tough because the wave control has been heavily in the favor of Envy. Envy wants to get full vision around. You can look how many wards are on this blue side jungle for Immortals. Envy has full vision control, and they're going to try to push them out, make them face check, get picks, or just rush the Baron. So they have the options, and they're doing the prep work to get this.
Very nicely, using a bit of that time, we saw Proxen head back up, clear the Baron wards, so they know they have everything in their favor here, including vision.
Ooh, Ninja stole the blue. That's nice.
Oh, good eye. Was watching for more ward clearance.
Or it was actually Proxen took it, but they both have a blue, and they're going to start a Baron, and Immortals isn't actually here. This is going to go down very, very quickly. They have to be careful.
Does he have a ward? No, they cleared them all. If anything, he would TP towards mid, and then he's just going to try to walk it all because they feel like the resulting fight is what they want. That is the flash from, or rather, Arcane Shift from Lod over.
Seraph on the backside fighting Huni.
Proxen very low. Rainover chasing him out. It looks like it could be the first kill. The 1v1 of our featured matchup, and Huni's going to have to turn away from that with the help of Rainover. Seraph with the Guardian Angel, built up here 38 minutes in, and Envy gets stopped from Baron, but they gain topside control.
Yeah, they're going to be able to push it in on the top side, and it's very dangerous for Pobelter because he has no summoners. So next time they do fight, they want to go right back to Baron. They're actually TPing Ninja back in. They're going to go straight to it, but Immortals is still around here. Pobelter has not, though, and it will be a 4v5 if Immortals commits. We'll see what happens.
Pobelter's AoE could be huge in this fight. It actually is huge. It's the AoE they're going to use to win it, and they can't take it. Nobody can step up to start the fight on Ninja. He may be going too far, and he just walks himself right into Immortals. Hooney's going to get the kill in the Blade Surge there. Will they be able to follow up? The laser does, but no more kills coming for Immortals. They may just try to tempt Envy back into this fight with the Baron. The traps go down, but there's not enough. They find a way around, and now Hakuo staring in the eyes of opponents, looking to get an initiation in, but it's just a pillar, so they can't enter. And these guys are really testing the waters on both sides. Who's going to have the goal to stay and continue the Baron? Because it doesn't look like someone's going to give it up right now.
Immortals healing is
TP
just ridiculous. They just keep sustaining back
that
up.
Ocean. They have that late Ocean now. They're going to look for Baron still. Lot is in the fight along with Hakuo. Seraph just on the side. Gated off by the gravity field. The tidal wave goes in. Hakuo, he could be going down here. Baron as well over to Immortals.
Seraph may get caught here as well. He gets spotted. He's gone.
Fight.
And he's going to lose his GA as well. This is a massive turnaround, and Envy reached too far. They thought they could take the Baron. Immortals punishes them. They're going to take the GA. They're going to take 2 kills and the Baron.
What was Ninja doing at the beginning of that? Not considering a respawn time, and that Pobelter, oh, he's dead, but he was dead for 20-some seconds.
Yeah.
And that's what really came to be his death.
This is the face check, and Proxen tries to follow it up, burrows right into the gravity field, and just brutal. The face check there from Ninja, and everything that had been going so well for Envy. They had put in so much time. They didn't need to force it. They can just reset and get back their health because they were trying to do this Baron at such low HP. But right now, Immortals is actually rushing the Elder Dragon. Envy's nowhere near. This is going to be theirs as well.
They were so close to the top, almost able to ring the bell, and then all the way down the staircase. Does Envy fall from the lead in this game? 40 minutes now. The gold is still very, very close, but the buffs now that Immortals continues to charge forward with, they're going to make it very hard for Envy to say anything about this engage.
Yeah, no kidding. Just the combat stats alone from Elder plus Baron are insane, and when you have the 2 in combination, it's so hard to just wave clear it out, you know, because everyone's like, oh, the Elder's just 2 minutes, just wave clear.
Yeah.
But how do you wave clear all these Baron minions? And Immortals can look for something. They're going to have insane amounts of poke and damage.
Look at that, Proxy in with his Titanic, trying to get in there. And Immortals, like we said, they can't really engage. Envy would lose more if they did try to stand toe-to-toe at this point. So you have to succeed the turret, watch it go down, and now Immortals is going to start picking up everything they want.
The problem is, do you just give 2 free inhibitors? Do you give up all these turrets? You know, it's too much to just seed without all fight. So it's brutal. Envy's going to make the call, I guess, to just give it all up. And I think if you don't fight for the first inhibitor, you're not going to fight for this either. So this is going to be 2 free inhibitors probably for Immortals.
I think it might be the fight. They try to clear out the super minion in mid by Lod so they could get over here with an ultimate. But it doesn't look like they're going to try to get too much of an engage. Immortals knows this could still be a very scary fight, but one they would want to take and tempt. Huge damage from the Soul Flare going onto Pobelter and Wild Turtle. Pokes like that will not allow Immortals to stay very long.
Watch how fast they heal back up, though. Italy plus the Nami, time and time again, healing them back up. It's got to be so frustrating for Envy because none of their poke will stick against this kind of double healer setup that they're running. It's brutal.
Also taking poke champions himself, as you were saying, after that Nidalee from Reignover. Maybe they were thinking they were taking champions away, getting composition that Immortals wanted to use, but they have everything they want. The Chaos Storm is down. We see Reignover jump in, and Hooney tries to get in there as well. Health bars are just melting right now for Envy's side, and that's almost going to be all she wrote. They have some Nexus turrets to go on. A very touch-and-go game, but showing Envy can stay at the top of the table here. Immortals going to be taking down the Nexus turrets and finding the Nexus. And I hope we have a 3-game series out of this one, but Immortals is going to take game 1 over Envy.
Incredible stuff from Immortals. They just flipped the switch at the Baron. Envy was playing 40 minutes of incredible League of Legends.
Yeah.
They were looking so methodical. One mistake at Baron, they get 2 Ogre Eager, and it cost them the game. Immortals, you give them an inch, they take a mile, and they got absolutely decimated at the end here.
It seemed a lot that as well, we saw Immortals getting picked off. They'd lose Turtle once, they'd lose Turtle again, but it didn't seem like Envy